Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Low Tech Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. Episode 51, Meatless, Eatless, Mental Mushroom Monday it is. And this week, we're going to talk about hope. That's right, it's a little bit of a hopeless time right now, and we're all really struggling, especially as healthcare workers, to find hope in this poor prognosis. But Friday gave me really a little bit of hope. So I wanted to carry it on to this week. I was really surprised that the day I mentioned the need to get the Defense Production Act working was the day Trump announced that he was gonna. I had a feeling he may be listening to the podcast. I don't know. Hey, D. Trump, give me a subscribe and a like, man. Help a brother out on Twitter. This Defense Production Act is very important because it's putting into place wartime effort to ramp up our production of ventilators. Hopefully they're making some N95s as well as 3M, because more and more I'm hearing of us hospitals reusing them. Sterilizing, impossible to decontaminate. Let's talk about that. Sterilizing is not the same as decontaminated, and I don't think we should be reusing something that's a one-time use. They're finding the greater amount of viral load of this coronavirus, the worse off your symptoms are. But let's try to be hopeful about it. Let's be happy. Every layer of this little fatty virus can be washed away with your hands. So I'm gonna steal the 5 things that Google has mentioned. It's great, and I like the way they phrase it. 1, hands, wash them. 2, elbow, cough into it. 3, face, don't touch it. 4, space, keep a safe distance. 5, home if you can. Stay home if you can. It is paramount that you stay home, because there's gonna be a few moments that you're never going to want to experience. One of them is being in the hospital with your mom or your grandma, and the doctor saying that hard talk of eventually the breathing that looks awful is they're going to tire out. The words tire out, they're going to poop out. Generally they say tire out, and that's the discussion of whether or not you want to put your 70, 80-year-old mom or grandmother on a ventilator and watch her worsen. And they're gonna get more and more hard-nosed about who gets the ventilators if it comes down to it. I know it's a lot to consider, but this is the reason we're asking you to stay home, because I don't get to touch my family. Like, I have to stay 6 feet away from them. That sounds really fucking weird, and I touch my family all the time. But seriously, hug them, can't touch their hands. I am terrified to give this to anyone I know. And yeah, it is mild a lot of times, but the majority of people who get it pass it on to people who don't have mild symptoms. Potentially, if you're passing it on to 3 other people and they're passing it on to 3 other people, that's about 10, and then you continue to exponentially add that. It's 100, then it's 10,000, and then everybody's got it. So the hope, it works to wash your hands. There's hope that there's going to be more gowns, even though I'm hearing more and more anecdotes of people being told to reuse gowns. There's 1 death every 17 seconds from COVID now in New York. On top of their normal 400 daily, there's an extra 100 dying. And we're running out of space. They're running out of space. Live on top of each other. Have to quarantine our doctors and healthcare workers. We're not heroes. We're people who learned a few things that seem like witchcraft and wizardry to those who don't understand it, but we're human, and we're tiring out. But we're gonna get through this. There's some weird maybe that pronoia holdover where everything I feel that the universe is providing is going to help us work it out somehow. I feel this is going to give us some action in our consciousness. The synchronicity of this, we've been more together in this virus freak out than we have in a long time. There's still left versus right politicizing of this catastrophe, but I want everyone to pay attention to what kind of treatment each company is giving their employees, because we can judge the content of their character mid-COVID, and if there's no other way, you can vote with your dollar, your diminishing dollar, on who gets that money, who gets your business. Is it the people who decided they're gonna not test their employees, are gonna send them out into the fray? And yeah, I'm critical of the hospitals, because even though we are having more policies of stay home if you've been tested positive, we're not finding out who has been exposed in those days. We're not doing our due diligence to find out. And I want you to take some mush thought, mush it around in this Meatless, Eatless Mental Mushroom Mondays, this Monday. The beginning of April is coming, and we'll see 1 million cases in this, I'm thinking, by the end of the first week of April. And it's going to change the way you live, and I hope it's for the better. I sincerely do. It doesn't seem like it could be, but if you take some time, don't put too much thought into it, but find out what has made you the most scared. What is it that you're afraid of? And discuss it with your family, because this is the time to really get deep. This is it. These are the hard talks you need to have with your family. Instead of waiting to the deathbed, you need to have it as if it might be the last moment. Every time you speak to anyone you love, everyone around you, we're all in this together, and I hope we will see that. Because this invisible little monster is trying to fucking kill our grandma. And I don't like it. It's an invisible monster out to kill, really, 4 out of 5 people. It just wants to. It won't. Hopefully. That's my hope. Because you're washing your hands, you're coughing into your elbow, you're not touching your face, and you're keeping a safe space. Home, if you can. Please, I beg of you. Thank y'all for listening. Much ado about nothing on this Meatless, Eatless Mental Mushroom Monday. But, hey, remember, there's hope. There's hope.